Hey, Susan, talking to you today. All right, Michael here for another edition of Cup of Talks. Got a proper teacup today. And to make it proper tea, I've got biscuits, which the chocolate ones are melting here. I'll put them in the shade. So I'd like to talk about a question I've asked myself, and I'm sure some of you have asked yourself. When you are up there in front of people with your instruments and you look out and you might ask yourself, what in the world am I doing here? And I've said that to myself a lot of times over the years. What am I doing here? Or why am I here? Something to that effect. I'm sure, like I said, I'm sure a lot of you have asked that same question. Now, there's no definitive answer for that because every situation will differ and every person will differ. I can only speak from my experience, and these are my opinions. But I hope that from my experience, maybe you can get some ideas. Maybe you can find something that works for you. What in the world am I doing here? I ask myself that when I'm making videos sometimes. And the only answer I've been able to come up for me is this is where I'm meant to be, or this is where I belong. Because I've put in my time, I've worked on my craft, I've practiced, rehearsed, I've performed, I've done what I can do to get to where I am at this present moment. We have to look at, where I am compared to where many of you might be. I've been playing professionally since I was 15 years old. That was my first paid gig. So that's a long time ago. And in that time, I played thousands of concerts and performances from as little as one or two people to 30,000 people. I played all types of places, all types of events. I've played in all types of bands. I've played solo percussion concerts. I've played gong concerts. I do the sound work sessions. So I've done a lot. This is where I am. You might be way on the other end. Maybe you're a newbie starting out and you just bought your crystal bowls and a rain stick and a gong and a rattle or so, and you're playing for your family and friends in your living room. We're all at wherever we are. And I try not to look at things as a hierarchy or to label things because everybody's journey is unique. Everybody's experiences are unique. My experiences are unique to me, but hopefully from them, maybe you can get some ideas. Maybe it can help you out on your experience. Like I said, I played thousands of gigs all over the place. And many times I have set up my gear and then come on stage and you look out, you see the people or the place you're at or something like that. And you just are like, what in the world am I doing here? And it's not that I don't feel I belong there. It's just like, what am I doing here? It's just amazing. It's amazing to be able to play for people. And my feeling is that, well, this is where I'm meant to be. I belong here because I've worked to a point to be where I am. And again, each of us, I hate to say levels, but we're at different levels. You could have your beginners here and your people with 50 years of experience like me way up here. And, each of us is where we are. And you chose to do this crazy thing, right? You chose to buy your bowls and your gongs and rattles, and you chose to play them for people. Or maybe you just play them for yourselves, which is totally cool too. Uh, Somewhere along the line in music, I got this erroneous idea that if you take up an instrument, you have to be focused to become like a big star. Play arenas and go on tour for a year and a half and all that stuff. And if you don't do that, you're nothing, which is not true. There's different ways to do it, and everybody has a different level they want to be at and a different level of enjoyment. So if you just have your instruments and play for yourself in your own living room or your own sound space, and that's what you aspire to because it makes you feel good, that is great. I just like playing guitar and just sitting at home and shredding on your guitar or playing your piano. That brings you joy and makes your life easier. What more do you need? So that's one place to be. Let's say that you've got your stuff and you just want to play for friends and family. Maybe invite them over to your living room and play there, or go to somebody else's living room and you play there. And you just do it for fun and because you love doing it and everybody likes the sounds. That's cool. Nothing wrong with doing that. If you want to play out once or twice a month, maybe at a yoga studio and do sessions there, or if you take yoga and you say, hey, let me play some gongs and bowls during shavasana after we're done, and then you do that at your local studio. That's cool. We each need to find where our level of enjoyment is. And that's important. But then when we look at that, we also have to realize this is where we're meant to be. We have chosen to be here. I have chosen to make videos. I've made, 400 or 500 videos. That's one thing I've chosen to do. I've chosen to play out and travel around and do sound sessions, to play concerts. I've chosen to travel around and do workshops here in the States, over in Europe. That's a conscious choice of mine. That's sort of the level I'm at. So we each find out where we're comfortable and we do that. And it can change too. You can be comfortable just playing for your friends, and then you go, yeah, I'm going to play some couple sessions out, and you do that. I mean, I've changed throughout my career what I've done and how much I've done. I used to do like 100 sessions a year, traveling all over, plus workshops, plus make videos, plus write, plus all this other stuff. And now I've gotten older, and it's like, I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to play 100 times. I've cut that way down. I think last year I might have done 30 sessions. And I was fine with that. There's other stuff I want to do. Flowers. I love gardening. It's spring here. I want to garden. Got a nice backyard. I want to stay home and enjoy it. A couple of years ago, I was gone. My wife and I were gone most of the summer. We were in Europe 3 times. Crazy, crazy. We were out east a couple times in Pennsylvania and Delaware, and we missed the summer here. The summer is like short and sweet here in Milwaukee, and it's the best time, and we missed it. And we made a conscious decision. We don't want to miss it. We love summer here, you know. Go to the lake, go to festivals. There's free concerts every night of the week practically. There's so much to do, festivals and fairs and farmers markets, and just hanging out. So we made a conscious choice. I don't want to miss summer here. I don't want to play. I think next month I have 2 sessions in June. But June's a great time here. So we all make choices, and we are where we choose to be. And I think that's the key. If you find yourself going, what in the world am I doing here? You chose to be there. You worked at your craft, you put in your time, kind of worked your way through things. And if you were playing at a studio or a concert or something, you've been chosen to be there. Somebody picked you and said, I want to hire you. I want to bring you in here. So they trust in what you do. You have to trust yourself and trust that, well, this is where I'm meant to be. So when I get up on stage, when I'm there, I look out at the people and sometimes I go, yeah, what am I doing here? But this is where I'm meant to be, and this is what I love to do, and I love to make sounds. And when I hit that first sound, it's like that. I'm in my sound space, and I know why I'm there, because I'm making sounds. It's almost, it's like a signal. It just clicks in my brain. Boom. I'm on. This is what I'm meant to do. This is why I'm here. And I just play and I don't worry about it. So you have to look at where you are and your level of enjoyment. What do you want to do? How do you enjoy making your sounds? There's no right or wrong. If you just want to sit in your sound space at home and make sounds for yourself, or maybe have a friend or two come over, that's totally cool. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Enjoy it, do it, live it. I love to make sounds here at my studio. I just love to play for myself. So I understand that. But if you want to get out and play, go ahead and do it. But realize that it's a choice you make, and you're meant to be there because you made that choice. Let's talk about something sort of related. It doesn't really affect me, but it might affect some of you. And it's commonly known as performance anxiety or stage fright. I don't have stage fright. I don't get anxious. I've joked about it before that I do get anxious or something, but I don't. Not since like seventh or eighth or ninth grade, playing in a school concert band and getting nervous there because maybe I had a solo or something, and you want to make it right, and you don't want to stand out and look stupid. Yeah, that whole teenage angsty thing. So I don't generally get nervous. I do ask myself, what in the world am I doing here? But that's not a nervous thing. It's just kind of a philosophical question that I wonder sometimes. But if you have anxiety or stage fright, and I know a lot of musicians do, especially professional musicians playing in big name bands or orchestras, and I know they talk to me about it and they get really nervous. Um, Go see somebody, see a counselor or a therapist, especially if you have crippling performance anxiety where you can hardly get up there. Go talk to somebody. Unfortunately, there's just so much stigma about mental health and therapy. I've seen counselors before. I've gotten plenty of therapy over my life to get through certain issues. By all means, seek somebody out. There might even be specialists where you live that specialize with athletes and musicians, performing people, and performance anxiety. Check in on that, especially if it's really crippling what you do. There's nothing wrong with that. But I know a lot of these people too who have it, they told me the same thing that I just told you is once they hit that first note, they're on. They're in that mindset. They're in that zone. And they just play through it. And then maybe after that last note and the audience claps or whatever, maybe they start freaking out inside again. But once they get in that zone, they're in it. And it's that performance zone. And you're just there and you're doing it. For each of us, it's unique. But definitely, seek counseling, get some help. I want you to feel good about what you do. And I want you to be able to get up there and just do it like I do. Let's kind of look back on this again. And this doesn't apply to brand new people who just, like I said, just bought your gear and you're starting out. But have you been playing a while? Let's say 6 months, a year. Look at, you've put in your time, hopefully, that you have practiced your craft. You've worked with your sounds. Maybe you've taken a workshop or two or a course. You've studied. If you already have musical training from another instrument, you've brought that into what you do, which will help you. And you put in your time. You've worked at your craft. And look at that. Say, I've worked at my craft. That's why I'm here, because I've put in my time. I know what I'm doing. And you keep building on it and you keep leveling up. And that's all you can do. And as you do that, more opportunities might present themselves and you get to play bigger and better gigs, different gigs. Maybe you can branch out, do corporate gigs, do things at schools, things at hospitals, at nursing and retirement homes, whatever. Maybe you find your niche, but just realize it's a choice you make and that hopefully you love what you're doing. And that's why you're doing it. You can't go into this sound work for the money. Yes, there's money to be made, but you can't just, it's not a thing where you go, like say, I can get this IT job and I can make $100,000 a year coding or something. Even then, I think you'd have to like what you're doing. I would. I couldn't just do it, but I digress. But hopefully you really like what you're doing because, yeah, you can make good money in sound work, but you got to love what you're doing because you're presenting to the public. And if you don't like what you're doing, they're going to know and they will respond accordingly. And you won't get hired again. You won't be called back. But if you really love what you're doing, it shows and the people will respond and they will want to come see you again and they will want you back. So realize that you chose to do this. You love to do this. This is why you were meant to be up here, okay? So it's getting long-winded. It's probably time for tea and a biscuit. So thanks for coming to today's Cup of Talks. Love what you do. If you don't, find something else, okay? I don't love doing hundreds of sessions anymore. So I cut down. And that's fine. I'm happy. I'm looking at a level where I am happy to be at and have more time to do other things like hang out in my backyard with the flowers and the birds. Got a new book I just finished writing. It's in the editing stages. I want to write more. I've got other books I want to write. I've got old books I want to revisit, see if they're worth doing something with. Yeah, I like making videos. I want to continue making videos, teaching on Zoom. hit me up if you want to take some Zoom lessons. I love it. I love teaching people all over the world. Or if you're in the Milwaukee area sometime, tell me you're going to be here. You can come over, hang out for a couple hours. We can do things in person. But you'll love what you do. And realize that's why you're here, because you love doing it. Okay. See you in the next couple of months.